Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mariner of Spirit, and brought to you by the Supernatural Link Network. And we have another great show tonight. We have two people that are very, very interesting, and they belong to a group from basically the Round Lake Beach area. So before we get into them, we're going to go ahead and mention a few things that I normally mention. And number one, it's the people that I support. Number one is PKC, Paranormal Kicks Cancer, and that's with Chris Gaskowski and Alex Wilkinson. And they are from the great state of Florida. And they do fundraisers every year for cancer research. And what they do is they do haunted houses, and they set up investigations, and all the money that they raise from the investigations and that all go to basically back into cancer research. So if you get an opportunity, you run into any of them at a paranormal convention, or if you run into them at a haunted location, be sure to go ahead and say hi to them. I first met them back in the day, and they were all at Old South Pitt in Old South Pitt, Tennessee, and I was doing a show with the gentleman that owns it, who's a friend of mine from out here where we live, and I had a great time with him, and since then I wanted to support them. So that's one. Number two, and it either way it goes, it's 1-in-1 or 1-in-2 or whatever you want to call it. But the other one is Potographs, and that's Tim Miley and his wife Lauren. And they just had an event up in Houghton Lake, Michigan, and they did a great job. Tim is now backed by Lauren, and Lauren is doing an awesome job with them, and they're coming out with some events that are pretty spectacular. And they do basically the same thing, only their events, they'll have like 6 to 8 speakers for 2 days, and usually it's a day and a half or 2 days. I can't remember. Last time I was with them was out at Ashmore Estates, and they do an awesome job with the speakers, and it gives you an opportunity to go ahead and see a lot of top quality people that are in the paranormal business and do that kind of work and share their thoughts and their ideas with you. And there's a lot of mediums that come into play out there too, occasionally, and it's great to see that kind of thing happen today, because in our world, the way it is today, it's great to be able to go ahead and see how everybody else gets involved and the kind of work that they do. So that's the two. And there's one other thing, is the authors. And these are all authors that have been on the show. And I usually have this open, but I didn't today for some reason. Anyway, the authors that have been on the show, and I support them. And if you could, look them up. If you find one that you think is really, really interesting, look them out, look them up, and they have great works. Number one is Bruce Holliday. Then we have Tobias Wayland, Adam Benedict, Kathy Crissell, Barnaby Jones, Cheryl Lynn Cotter, Dr. Heatherly Langdon, Lynn Monet, Ron Iacovetti, Victoria Munday, Tony Rathman, Natalie Jones, Patty Negri, Sylvia Schultz, Amelia Cotter. We have David Sloan, Christina Bloom, D.A. Wysong, Joseph Hallett, and Rex Nielsen. And I had one up here. For some reason, I couldn't read it this time. Amelia Cotter, I think I mentioned. I can't figure out who it was. Okay, well, that's going to be where it is now, because we're not going to try to figure it out any longer. We have these very important people here with us, and want to go ahead and bring them on. So there's a group up here in the northwest suburbs, if you want to call it that, northwest Illinois, and it's called Spire. And we have the founder of Spire, and we have a medium that works with him, and she is here too. So I'm going to bring on Ed and Chrissy now, and then we'll go ahead and we'll go through the introductions. I'm going to bring Chrissy on first. Ladies first.
Hi, Greg. Okay. Hi, Greg.
Ed. So,
hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you.
I mean, it's always neat to have real cool people like this on the show,
yeah.
And people that have a lot of information, to their side, and they can use that information to help better the community and the paranormal people too. So, Chrissy, I'm going to go ahead and ask you first. You want to give a little background of yourself and what you've been up to, and what you work at the most?
Sure. I have, like most mediums, I've been at this since I was a kid, one way or another. When I'm not doing that, I am a high school U.S. history teacher, which I've been working for many years now. My favorite thing is, of course, helping both the living and the dead, with often the living really needing more support and guidance oftentimes than the dead do. So I'm just in it to help people, with whatever they need.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great to have you on here.
Thank you.
And Ed?
Yeah. I've been around the paranormal since I was a kid. Grew up in a haunted house, over 100 years old as a child, in Indiana. And the first house that my wife and I had when we first got married was over 100 years old, and it was haunted. We had a friend that used to watch a lot of ghost shows and decided to form his own team. And so Chrissy actually worked with that team, and my wife and I both worked with that team. And then about 3 years ago, we decided that we wanted to branch off on our own. Chrissy and I had been talking probably for about the last 5 years about, how great it would be to have our own team and experiment and, do the type of things that we wanted to do, to help folks and help the paranormal. And so 3 years ago, Spire was born.
Yep.
That's awesome. Did you guys have a ceremony when it was born?
No. So
did you break a bottle of champagne over the front end of a car or anything like that?
No, actually. Well, so I was working at the time at Abbott Labs, and I'm very heavily involved in scouting. So when I got the idea of, hey, let's form our own team, and I started to get serious about it, I started. It was right after the team that I was on, 3 a.m. Extreme Paranormal, investigated Broadhead Manor, and I became really good friends with Bill Walter. And I actually did a lot of research and figured out who a lot of the spirits are up there at Broadhead. So I said to him, if I pull a bunch of people together just to feel them out and see if they'd be interested in this, could I bring them up there to investigate? And he was like, sure, why not? So in March of 2023, which was really, really cold, I pulled a bunch of people that I worked with at Abbott. Our good friend Mike Alsip was one of them. and a couple people that I knew from Scouts, and I had Chrissy come down and do a walkthrough, and she hit every single thing dead on when she did her walkthrough. It was awesome. And we walked around, and Bill's like, all right, what's the name of your team? I'm like, we don't have a name. We're just a bunch of people. He's like, no, you got to have a name of the team. I said, I don't know, Spirit Hunting Investigation Team. He goes, so you're shit paranormal? I said, yes, we are. So after that, and feeling out who was really interested and who wanted to be involved, we formed our little group of miscreants and decided to call ourselves the Society for Paranormal Investigation, Research, and Evidence, or SPIRE for short. And here we are.
I think it's remarkable that what you put together has a tone of seriousness to it that a lot of the other teams around seem to lack.
Yeah.
That's just an observation that I've made from seeing you guys a few times now. Yeah. I like I said, I knew Mike for quite some time, and he bannered me. We were at a big reception for, I can't remember what it was exactly. I think it was a wedding or an anniversary, and he had all these questions he was kept on asking me, and I thought, yeah, one of these days he's going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and run into him, and he's going to be in a group somewhere. Yeah,
well, and Mike said that, when I asked him if he was interested in the spirit world and paranormal investigation, he was like, his eyes lit up. He was like, yes, absolutely, yes. And then come to find out that he's always kind of had abilities and been able to kind of see and whatever. And the really cool thing is since we've started this group, is watching him kind of grow and kind of come into his own with his abilities and his mediumship. And he works with Chrissy, and Chrissy has taught him a lot. And and it's great that when Chrissy's not available to do stuff, that Mike is able to kind of come on and do his thing and do his feelings. Plus, he's just phenomenal at doing the Estes session. He's really great at doing that. So I'm really glad that him and I became friends, and to have him on our team, as well as a lot of the other guys on our team. I mean, we've got Alex Clark, who's one of our original members. He's still involved, and he comes out and does a lot of our tech work. And Charlene, she's one of my scout friends. She comes out, and she actually brings her dog out to some investigations. So we call her Hazel, the paranormal pup. She's a chocolate lab, and actually Hazel's got a little sister now. So we might have two of them coming out with us. Her name is Pollyanna. And but on top of that, as our team has grown and we've added more members, we've actually had the opportunity to add members that have had a lot, because originally the group that we first started off with, Chrissy and I were the only ones who had any experience in the paranormal. Everybody else were all rookies and had no experience at all. But now we're starting to pull in people who have experience. We've got Jesse Hawthorne, and we've got Darren Moore on our team now, and we've got Ryan Connor on our team. All of them have had, have their mediumship stuff going on, and all of them have, have been in the paranormal for at least 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, that's really cool when you go ahead and get some good people.
Yeah,
and especially in the way today is, as far as the community is concerned, that you've got to go ahead and take care of your own, and there's always somebody that's going to go ahead and try to screw it up.
Yeah.
And I don't go for it. I never did. I don't care about it. They can say whatever they want. It's an ego type based thing that doesn't make it in the community at all. And somebody should have a rock like a stoning some night with somebody, and then you never see it happen again.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I'm not trying to sound evil by saying that, because I'm not an evil person. I enjoy the fact that, you know, we have medium here, and you know, I did my mentorship with Scotty Rourke, and Scotty's been with me for quite some time, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
And you know, that way it's all a family type thing.
Yeah.
You know, what the way I feel and think is entirely different than everybody else's. We all have certain gifts that are alike, yet they're not alike.
Right. And that's another thing too. You know, a lot of groups are out there. They're like, you know, if you're on our team or our group, you only investigate with our team or our group. And my thing is, you know, by all means, somebody invites you to go on an investigation with them, and you have the opportunity to go somewhere really cool. Go. You know, just experience the location, bring it back to the team, let us know what happened. If you want, you know, maybe we'll set it up for a team investigation. You know, if they're using equipment that we don't have, you know, let us know about it. If they do, you know, methods and experience that we haven't done before, you know, let us know about it. And then also, you know, when opportunities arrive and we can invite guests to come and investigate with us, like we've had Deidre Stanford with us.
Oh, no. Okay.
You know, out with us, and we've had, you know, a couple of others. We actually just recently investigated the Tinker Swiss, and I was hoping that that Chris was going to be able to come out. Chris Fleming was going to be able to come out with us, but I guess he wasn't feeling well, so he wasn't able to make it that night. So we'll definitely have an opportunity for him to come out with us again sometime. But you know, just I love having, you know, all these different people come and investigate with our team, and I love the fact that our team is, you know, just goes out and does you know, does what they're going to do. You know, I always joke that Darren and Jesse go on more investigations than I ever could. They're always out there. Like it seems like every single weekend they're out investigating somewhere.
What did you guys think of Tinker?
Chrissy wasn't at Tinker. She wasn't able to go, but I thought it was amazing. It was a really cool place. I had a really interesting experience on the Indian Mound.
Okay.
Because I'm part Native American. So I was out there with my dowsing rods, communicating with what I believe was 3 Native American Indian men, and I seemed to have picked up a lot of energy while I was doing that, to the point that when I walked back to the barn, Mike said that he could feel me walking up behind him before the door even opened.
Right. What back in the day, and this goes back quite a few years ago now, because I was with Dale Casimir, and we were Ghost Research Society, and we used to help them out. So our group would come out every time they would have a event at Tinker Swiss through the library. They would sell these tickets, and there would be 30 people. And we would break ourselves down, and we had like 4 or 5 different areas that we would have 2 people at.
Yeah.
And then we would do the whole thing, and they would rotate the people that were there. And then at the end, we got together in that theater, or not the theater, wherever that room is, where it's the Welcome Center, I believe.
The barn.
Yeah. And, you know, they have all the chairs in there, and they would come in, and we would go ahead and tell them what we found, and then we'd ask them what they found. And I had a great experience with Old Man Tinker downstairs in the basement. And I had 2 people that were just brand new. They even went ahead and they made a pair of dowsing rods out of a coat hanger. And they were down there, and they were working along, and I went in there to see if I could help them out. And they were in the bedroom where he slept, where I want to say it's John, I believe, Tinker.
Yeah.
And then there was that hallway that went into where his office was.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going along and they're using it. I said, everything okay? And they said, oh yeah, he's responding quite a lot.
Yeah.
And the guy says to me, he says, I had told him my name was Greg, and he says, okay. And he's got the rods, and then he goes ahead and he says, oh, can you go ahead and point the rods in the direction that Greg's at?
Mm-hmm.
And I was towards the door, and the rods went all the way over like this and pointed at me.
Yeah.
And then I says, better yet, I says, where is Mr. Tinker right now? And they turn around. They turn right around like that, and they pointed right at that hallway that goes into the office. And I snapped like 3 pictures, and I caught 2 really nice size orbs in the hallway between that and the office. Now, the reason I'm saying that is I'm interested in how you people look at orbs.
So when we capture orbs on tape or on camera, we might mention it, or we might say, okay, there's a light anomaly. It seems like it might be responding to what we're talking about or what we're going on, but we don't call them orbs, and we don't call them we don't say that they're definitely something paranormal, because we don't know that. It could have been dust, it could have been a bug or whatever. The only time that we will actually say this was an actual orb or whatever is if we see them with the naked eye, because that's the only way that we can verify and say and say for sure that it's something paranormal, because we saw it, the camera captured it, and I've seen orbs, with the naked eye, But like I said, we will acknowledge it. We will say that we caught a light anomaly. It seemed like it responded, but in my opinion, unless it's actually something that you can see with the naked eye, that we can't actually count it as legitimate evidence.
What kind of conditions are necessary for you to see it with your naked eye?
I've seen them in the daylight, and I've seen them in the dark. So I mean, it's just the bright light, the flickering light that just kind of floats along. Or somebody else sees a light, out of the corner of their eye or whatever. And that's the thing, is somebody's got to see it and be like, did you see that light? And then if we capture it on the camera and at the same time, then it's something that okay, we can definitely say it was a legitimate orb.
Would you also qualify that as being a fae or a fairy?
It can be.
You know what I mean? Because how you catch it during the daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had spots up in the state of Washington where we've been out on these huge hikes. And I have a daughter out there, and we go ahead and we do crazy stuff out there, and that's one of the things that has caught my eye out there. I'm normally, everything I capture is usually on camera.
Yeah.
And, I know there's people that, and the reason I'm asking is because this gives everybody that's paying any attention to what we're talking about the opportunity to go ahead and form their own basis of how they believe in what it is.
The problem is that there's an individual who's got a TV show. Chrissy knows who I'm talking about. Our friend Zach Bagans, who every single thing that he captures on camera is an orb, and it's something paranormal, and it's and I say that he's our friend, in jest, because but everything he captures is an orb, and it's got to be something paranormal and whatever, and it's just like I don't think so. So I think that because of that, because of the way he responds to all that type of stuff, that's why we kind of approach orbs and light anomalies the way that we do. and other teams, like Taps and the Kindred Spirits team, and even like some of the other ones out there, they don't really point out the light anomalies and the orbs all that much when they're doing their shows.
I know there's been quite a few that Broadhead.
Mm-hmm.
There's the room that they have where they have all the merchandise that they sell, and they have the big table. That's where I do a lot of my ITC work at that table, and then up on the third floor. And I know that Reggie Randall, I don't know if you even know who Reggie is. Probably not. He hasn't been around that much, and he's in Texas now. He's here for the week, but he went ahead, and I was talking to Bill, and we were at the table on the court.
Yeah.
And it was we were in between, and we were getting ready. The next week was going to be the rock thing.
Yeah. Rock Island Roadhouse. Or no.
And Paranormal Rockdown.
Or Paranormal, yeah.
And what happened was I'm talking to him, and Reggie was on the side, and he was filming where the stage was.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden this came across, and it was going like this.
Yeah.
And it got brighter, and then it went ahead and it went right either into me or by me, one of the two.
Yeah.
And he says, I think I caught something. And right after that, we were up in the room with the big table. They were coming out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that, for all the years that you hear and talk to people about orbs,
yeah,
it's an interpretation, it's
yeah. When we were at Broadhead back in that March of 2023, and Chrissy was doing her walkthrough, we were in the downstairs, not downstairs, but we were in the girls' locker room.
Okay.
And Chrissy was communicating with a female spirit that was kind of cowering in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was, filming it, and she's like, just kind of back off and whatever, because she's afraid of you. And she's talking to the female spirit, and then Chrissy's like, oh, there she goes. And at the time that right when she said there she goes, there was a light anomaly that the shot past her and like into the wall.
So did you get a real kick out of that at the time?
Yeah. I actually didn't see the light anomaly until I was reviewing the tape later. So, again, was it something paranormal? It certainly seems like it. It was definitely coincidental, but because neither one of us saw it although she saw the spirit moving, I don't know if the spirit she actually saw the spirit go into the wall. You didn't really tell me that, Chrissy.
No, she just sort of dissipated. It's like, oh, she's not here anymore. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because neither one of us actually saw the light with our, that's why we didn't call it an orb. We just called it a light anomaly, but it definitely was a very coincidental light anomaly.
That's there's a lot of things, it seems to me, and I'm just bringing this out there, that back in the day, this was happening to me, to the extent where I would go to the person that was definitely much more experienced in out of the world type things.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you want to go ahead and call them anomalies or anything else, it's something that isn't and you can feel it inside you
Mm-hmm.
that there's something definitely going on there.
Yeah.
And I think we're all, we all have a basis inside of us that tells us that.
Yeah.
We're part of that. And when you see that happen, and the thing that always struck me was the fact I came up with this. I have a great capture
Mm-hmm.
of an apparition that was captured at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. And it's a nurse, and it's a full bodied. We were down in the furnace room and caught it. And I caught it, and it was halfway through my camera.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got home, I took the chip out and went ahead and put it on my computer and started going through the pictures to see if I had captured anything.
Mm-hmm.
And where the timeline would have been for when we were in that room was like halfway through the film.
Yeah.
So guess where that picture was?
Where?
At the end, the very last picture on that roll. Like somebody was going, no, he's going to miss it if I put it there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I showed it to my boss, and my boss as well. It's pareidolia. And I'm going, wait a minute. There's certain other elements that were involved in this that leads me to believe a little stronger than I normally would. Well, his best friend at the time went ahead about 3 weeks later, gave me a picture of another apparition of the same nurse that was taken up in her room on the 3rd floor there.
Okay.
It was opaque. Now, both of these pictures, at her feet was a cat.
Oh, wow.
I kid you not. And I will show you later on. I can't bring it up right now, but
Okay.
it was the same cat.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, how could that be? Now you're taking, and you're really throwing. You're not only getting the hot fudge sundae, you're getting the nuts and the cherries and everything else on top.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about that kind of thing? Have you caught anything like that? That would.
We've caught a few things. One of our teammates, Terry, she likes to walk around when we get into locations with her camera and her on her phone and snap pictures, and she's got some really interesting captures. Bunch in the mirrors and a couple like in the corners of rooms and things like that they look like they could be something. One of the things that I definitely want to do, or one of the things I want to invest in as we continue on with this stuff is on a Polaroid camera, because and actually it's interesting. This one team that I follow on YouTube, they're called The Boys. They're a really interesting team. Half the guys are from Australia, half the guys are from the U.S. So they investigate a lot of Australian locations as well as a lot of U.S. locations. I definitely recommend checking out The Boys on YouTube. But they were talking about how the best way to get an actual spirit picture is to use a conventional film camera. Whether it's a Polaroid or the click and rewind type, with film in it camera, because the digital cameras have a tendency to get a lot of false images, whereas the conventional film cameras do not. But good luck finding some place that can actually develop those in modern times.
I have a very interesting comment that was made here by Carol Garcia, and she says, have you seen any orbs with faces on them? And if so, what is your opinion on these orbs? Chrissy?
I can't say as I have. I imagine that it is possible, but in my experience, I have not seen.
Okay.
But let me add that my ability, it's not visual. It is claircognizance.
Okay.
So if it was there, doesn't mean it's not. It just means I haven't seen it.
And you've had that your whole life?
Yes.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's common among mediums. Actually, we notice it as kids, and it just becomes something that you grow up with. You get used to it. Then, as you get older, figure it out. You start to be able to control it more. It gets powerful. Comes like a muscle. Use it or lose it.
Some of us just gave it up for girls for a while.
Yeah. Chrissy's actually got a sister, Kelly, who's also got abilities. She's clear audio.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. An interesting thing, we were investigating a house up in where was it? Berlin, Wisconsin.
Yes, that was it.
And Kelly wasn't able to make the come out on the investigation with us, but we had her on the cell phone, and she was actually picking up on the sounds and on the spirit through the cell phone.
That had to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I was proud of her.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
It didn't give you goosebumps or nothing, did it?
A little bit, me anyway.
No,
So
it's hard to spook us.
Yeah, I get goosebumps because I get excited. I walk around some of these haunted places by myself, and and I feel presences around me, and I feel the energy, and and I just kind of walk around, like not last weekend, but the weekend before. Bill was out at the booze at the Battleship, and he had a team coming in on Saturday night, so he asked me if I'd run the building for him. So I got in there around noon. The team wasn't actually going to be getting in there until like 6 o'clock that night. So I walked around, turned on all the lights, checked all the rooms, made sure that there weren't any anything out of place, and that there wasn't any water running out of the ceiling or anything anywhere. And as I walked around, I'm just like, hey kids, how are you doing? Hey Groot, hey hey John, hey sir, when I went into the principal's office, and just walking around and just saying hello to everybody, like like they're good friends. And and it's funny because there was a couple times where I felt like something had touched my shoulder or grabbed my hand. Like one of the kids grabbed my hand, and things like that. And I'm just like, okay, just walking around, getting a feel for the building.
And see, because Ed's got kids, so he's got, fun dad energy. I walk in, I've got mad teacher energy. So those kids at Broadhead, when they see me coming, they are gone. They want nothing.
They're shaking and putting a wet spot on the floor, probably.
So I'm really, on very good terms with the custodian and the principal. So all the staff I'm cool with. But there was one night I'm up there trying to sleep. It's not working, and even then I'm up there alone. Those kids are nowhere. So they asked for Ed on the EVPs, but they see me. They are gone.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth did warm up to you, though.
A little bit, yes.
Yes. Yeah, she did warm up.
So how many times you've been there now?
Oh God.
No, I'm asking Chrissy just because of
so many. I could not tell you so many.
Probably at least 10 times?
At least.
Yeah.
What are your both of your impressions of the mounds behind the school?
I don't know if Chrissy's ever really walked out there.
No, it was strongly suggested to me not to, more to respect that space.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I do go to Broadhead, I stay in the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never walked out to the corner where the demolished mound is, but I have gone out to the field next to Broadhead, and I've done a few little rituals and whatnot out there. Um, and I believe, like anything else with Native American lands, as long as you respect the space and respect the land, and and treat everything um, with good respect, that they will accept you, and everything like that. I do kind of get a feeling that that the land was disturbed, um, and the spirits aren't all that happy about it, but they are happy that Bill's got, because he brought out an Indian shaman and had them bless the land.
Right.
So they're I think they were really happy with him that he did that, because they kind of I guess put it into a more of a more positive state.
It's quite unbelievable when you think about, and I had talked with him about this, and the fact that, that land goes back so far, and you had two major tribes from basically the Incas and the Aztecs that had been way up past that point. And we had one night that Bill had gone ahead and fogged that main hallway, and then he put the green lights on.
Yeah, it's always fun.
And we took pictures, and I have basically, and I would say, I don't know if it's Inca or Aztec, but it's a head that goes to a point in the back, and it's got a feather. And it was like when I showed him that, he was going, "Holy crap, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
And it was like, so it's things that you get that give you signs that they're actually still there.
Yeah. Well, so Bill filled me in on some interesting history about the town of Broadhead. There were, I think he said, like 12 or so Indian mounds around the town of Broadhead, or along that railroad track that were destroyed. The town of Broadhead has 9 different elementals that protect the land, 2 of which are unsighted at Broadhead Manor. You've got Groot, the large tree spirit at the one end, and Smoke at the other end, who's the fire elemental. And so he's got 2 of the 9 on his property, and the fact that there's that many elementals in one town, I think, is just incredible. But the unfortunate thing is that the settlers came through, and they bulldozed these mounds. Whether or not they knew what they were, thought they were just hills or something that was in the way of their railroad, I don't know. But they desecrated this land, and so now they've got these elementals out there that are trying to protect the land and keep it from being further desecrated.
Wow. So what are your plans now for the rest of the year for your group?
So we are getting very, very busy. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Chrissy and Alex and I are going to be going to a location in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm not going to say what it is, because Chrissy likes to go in cold. I will say that it is a very historic location that is going through renovation right now. which, as we know, always kicks up activity. And I saw that they had this stuff going on Facebook, so I reached out to them through Facebook and said, "Hey, I'm team lead for this paranormal team. We're not too far from you guys. I have a feeling that your location might have some activity. If it does, would you be interested in having us come in and take a look?" And they responded back with, "Yes, absolutely." So we've got that going on tomorrow. So that's probably going to lead to a full-on investigation, probably sometime in August, I'm hoping. So we have that. We have another location that we're going to be investigating in the city of Chicago. It's a private home. Our bread and butter is doing private home locations and businesses that have never been investigated before. So, going out to all these locations that everybody's investigated and, that everybody knows is active is fun, and we love doing them. But when we get an opportunity to go out and break a location for the first time, or, do a private home and be able to, help the people understand what's going on in their home and help the spirits, communicate with those people. And sometimes, and this is kind of Chrissy's specialty, is helping the spirits move on. If they feel like they're trapped and they want to move on, that's one of the things that we'll do too. So we've got that going on. We're going to be doing ghost tours out at the Genesee Theater in October. So we're going to be investigating the theater before we start doing those tours, and that's going to be in July. We've got we're going to be investigating a railroad museum out by Rockford in July as well, and in June. No, I already said that we were doing the private home location, and then we've got a bunch of Paracons coming up. We're going to be at the Chicago Paracon on June 13th. We're going to be at the Broadhead Beard Brawl on June 6th. On May 30th, we're actually leading a public investigation. We're doing 2 sessions. We've got first session is from noon until 6 p.m. and the second session is from 6 until midnight. We've sold out the nighttime session already. We've completely sold that one out. The daytime session, we're about half full. So if anybody is interested, they can contact Broadhead or contact us at Spire on ghostlyspire@gmail.com or through our Facebook page. It's $30 to get involved in the daytime public investigation. We've got we're going to be doing another public investigation out at the Watseka Courthouse Museum on October 24th. So that's one day we won't be doing the Genesee Theater, and we'll also be at Days of the Dead in November. And I will actually be out at the New Orleans Paracon. We'll have a vendor table out there at the end of July, beginning of August.
That's the big one.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm actually going to be involved in they're doing an investigation at the Andrew Jackson Hotel. So I'm actually
you're going to be with Lenny Dorman then.
Yeah. And then on top of all of that, June 23rd, 2023 was when we first did our actual first team investigation at Broadhead Manor. So because the month of June is our anniversary month, we're actually going to be doing 2 raffles. The first raffle is we're going to be raffling our Let's Go t-shirt, which I don't know if I can bring a picture of it up on my screen or not. Let's see. Can I? Yeah, I can share my screen. Or hold on. Share screen. Do you guys see that one?
Yes,
So that's the T-shirt we're going to be raffling off.
right there.
The It's Haunted. Let's go. Because
Cool.
whenever I tell Mike Allsip that something is haunted, first thing he says is "Let's go." So that's the first raffle that we're doing, and then the second raffle that we're going to do is we're actually going to raffle off an opportunity for 2 people to come in and investigate the Genesee Theater with us.
Yeah,
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That's a great night, and then you get to go ahead and go across the street and have your picture taken with Jack Benny.
yeah,
You know about that.
yeah. This is what, a statue out there.
He's a statue, full-size a big statue.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
So
cool.
But so we've got a lot going on, and we keep adding more and more things. There's a bunch of locations that we were talking about getting in on and doing. And of course, as people contact us and let us know that they've got homes and businesses that are, that they think have activity, we keep adding on. Actually, I've got another home that I've got to go out and do a vetting at. That's out in Hinsdale.
Hinsdale.
Yeah, she's been contacting me and wanting me to go out there and check it out, and I just haven't had a chance to yet. So I'm hopefully going to be going out there and checking that place out soon.
How many of those have you done?
I'm
just curious.
I've done quite a bit. I've done probably 15 or so. Chrissy has done, you've done like 3 or 4 of them with me now, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
How do you find that, Chrissy?
Working with Ed?
No, going into private homes.
It's the best. It's by far the coolest part because you are really in the front lines. You are helping people who obviously need your help, because why else would people, give up their home for the better part of 12 hours to a bunch of strangers, to go through, ask them some questions that often get very personal and invasive, have a bunch of people stomping in and out. So if you're going into a home, that means someone really, really, really wants you there and they really need your help.
Yeah. Plus, I always find it interesting that Chrissy's the first one to pop up and go, they're excited because we're here to talk to them, and nobody's ever done that before.
Because the people don't listen to them.
Right, well, yeah, because they're like, oh my God, you're here to talk to us. You know that we're here. We investigated the Antioch Freemason Lodge.
Okay.
And nobody had ever investigated it before. So we were the first ones. And Chrissy, she goes, they're all like walking around going, wait a minute, these people know we're here. They're here to talk to us. Why are they here to talk to us?
Back in the day when we had the actual haunted town, we had a ton of people there. I mean, I don't know how many. We had the whole town of Antioch, and we were over by JJ Blinkers.
Yeah.
And I was in there and with, I can't think of his name now, not Jason. But we did JJ Blinkers, and we were in the back, and the other big guy that works from was it 30 days or 40 days or whatever, what that series they did about 2 years ago. Anyway.
28 Days Haunted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was his first name starts with a J. And I'm having a brain fart. Excuse me, but
Yeah, well, I know that Aaron Thompson was on that show.
Aaron was the one.
Yeah,
And Aaron and
Big
Nixon,
Nick. Yeah.
Nick, they were in the front. And every time I'd go around the corner, because I was with Kazmarek, and we were in the back, and then those guys, he would come around the corner, and he's so damn big. I think he's bigger. Isn't he bigger than you?
Nick?
Yeah.
No, actually, I think I'm taller than he is.
You are?
Yeah.
I know you're a real big guy, but I mean,
yeah, we're both really, really close in stature and girth.
In the dark, when you're going one way and he's going the other way, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, Daddy, get me out of there.
Yeah, because I'm 6'4".
Yeah,
I'm not sure where he clocks in at, but I'm 6'4".
Well, we had that whole town.
Yeah.
And they did have across the street is where the Freemasons Lodge, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we had the center was actually.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have people upstairs.
Yeah.
Yes, the ladies of the Freemason Lodge they were the force to be reckoned with in that building. So I made pretty good friends with them, and Ed is doing what he does. He's team leader, used to this, and one of the ladies takes umbrage to this. And she says, "Don't tell me what to do, son." And that was a moment. I will remember that forever.
Yeah, I was told to leave the room because I was being too bossy.
Did you get goosebumps when that happened, Chrissy?
I just laughed because
you didn't get goosebumps.
No, it was too funny. I mean, I laughed. This was, of course, at Ed's expense, but he got back at me later with a doll that had a being in it later. So I was just eating my words at that point, but I did not really get goosebumps. That they were just nice ladies.
Yeah. Charlene was having a ball too, because we had our Elliot box out, and they were just chatting through that thing, telling me to go away.
Now you were talking to me about this Elliot box.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Before.
Yeah. So
you have to remind me and everybody in the room.
So the Elliot box is a 1940s Bendix radio. And what it is I had a bunch of old wooden radios from that I had inherited from my wife's grandfather. And they were, because I used to be in radio and was real big into radio, so I was collecting radios for a while. And they just ended up sitting in bins in the basement. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with these things? And if you know Elliot and Nat from ACG,
yes.
Paranormal,
yes,
Elliot makes his own spirit boxes. You know, he makes them out of all kinds of different stuff. They've got one that was made out of I think they have one that was made out of a Scooby-Doo lunchbox. They've got one that was made out of an urn, and all kinds of different stuff. So I said to him, Elliot, I've got all these vintage radios. I said that you can use to make spirit boxes. I go, I will give them to you. I want one of them back as a spirit box. And that's all I want for these radios, is for you to make me a spirit box. So he took this radio and he made it into a spirit box. He says that the spirits in the home that they live in, because apparently the home they live in is haunted, help him to make these spirit boxes. So I have actually, if you give me one moment.
Sure.
Well, there he goes. He's the equipment master.
Well, you get excited about that equipment too, don't you? Or not?
This might sound rather full of myself, but I'm the most powerful tool in his arsenal.
You're confident. That's a good thing.
Very.
I hope you stay that way.
Because 10 EMF meters, all the K2s, all the voice recorders. None of them measure up to one of me.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So this
Oh,
is
wow.
the Elliott box.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That's beautiful.
And it flashes red and blue lights.
Yes.
Wow.
He thought it was cool that it said police on it, so he put red and blue lights in it. And this spirit box seems like when we're in a location that's like, 100 years old or so, it seems like when the other spirit boxes aren't really getting any response, that one will with some of the older spirits.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. We had it down in the jail cell at the Watsika courthouse. Martin Marin, the guy that was down there that was lynched for whipping his son to death, that's stuck in the jail cells down there. He was using that box like crazy, just giving Mike a hard time.
As usual.
Yeah. Mike gets the hard time all the time from the different spirits, but yeah, it was quite the experience. But I absolutely love this box, and because Elliot made it, I call it the Elliot box. And the kids at Broadhead know the box; they like to use it. I'll say, "Who made this box?" and it'll come out and go, "Elliot." So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's great to have you guys on, and I want to thank you for being here. And I hope that we answered some questions for some of the people that are in the audience. And it's a pleasure meeting you, Chrissy, and Ed, as usual. We'll see you guys around and have a great weekend. And if you want to tell everybody, you have anything to add about Spire?
Just we are, we're out there. We're doing the different conventions. We're very, very approachable. If you see us out on the street or out, at a convention or something, and feel free to come up and talk to us. We love talking to folks. If you got activity going on in your home or your business and you need somebody to come check it out, or if you know somebody that does, absolutely, look us up on Facebook and send us a message through the IM or send us an email, or give us a call. We've got a Spire hotline set up, we love talking to folks and find out what they've got going on and see if we can help figure out whether or not a home is haunted, or if in a lot of cases we'll debunk some of the things that are going on in some of these private homes, and that's about it. So we do have a YouTube channel. I don't have a whole lot out on there right now. I'm actually going to be uploading a lot of raw footage on there, and I'm calling it Spire in the Raw. And it's going to be an opportunity for folks to basically review our footage for us. And if you see anything, just let us know what you see or hear, and we'll check it out. And that's the Spire team on YouTube, and our website is ghostlyspire.com.
Awesome. Thank you very much for both of you being here. And if you want to wait around for a few minutes after I close her down, we could talk a little more.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for being here. It was really, I thought it was very interesting. Very good show. I finally get to meet the anonymous Chrissy.
Good to meet you.
That I finally get to meet. So that's another feather in my cap.
Yes.
That's because we talk about you all the time, Chrissy, when you're not there.
Okay. Thank you.
Which, by the way, Greg,
Yeah.
Chrissy calls herself my paranormal truffle pig.
And there's a reason, because sometimes we go to Broadhead, they aren't talking. I'm all over that building looking for where they are, and I'm like, Ed, over there, up there, down there. So I take him to where they are. I'm like, I'm getting my steps in on those days.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. It's great having you guys. Thank you very much for being here. And I want to close this down and say goodnight to everybody. So
Okay.
All right.
we'll see you in a few.
Okay.
So everybody, it's been a pleasure to have you guys all here tonight. And you know, once again, if there were any other questions, which I didn't really see, but there was trigger object spirits as well as, well, that's Carol again. I'll see her later. But, okay, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down, and we'll be seeing you guys next Wednesday on One Spirit Connect again. We're going to have another great show, and you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ha 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 ha.